Good morning, everybody. I am really excited to be here. You guys are my people, and it is not often in Congress that I get to nerd out about financial services in front of an audience who has any idea what I'm talking about. So it's my favorite topic. Before I came to Congress, I taught consumer protection, including financial services, credit cards, small dollar loans, all of the ways in which each one of you works each day to make financial security possible for American families and small businesses. So I haven't been in Congress that long, so I'm not going to spend the whole speech talking about myself. I haven't yet picked up that bad habit. Last January, when I was sworn in as the representative from California's 45th District, I was really excited to begin working on financial services issues, and my deepest fear in coming to Congress was that everybody would want to be on the Financial Services Committee, because that's obviously the sexiest, most important committee in Congress. And it turns out there was actually one new member whose first choice was the Financial Services Committee, and you're looking at her. So I have had a terrific time on the committee and being able to do that work. When I was a law professor, I focused on the ways in which families had trouble making ends meet. I did a lot of research on consumer bankruptcy and did a lot of work to help families that were facing foreclosure during the 2008 crisis. And what I saw again and again is how important it is that families have access to sustainable financial services. And credit unions are so well positioned to fill that role, and I see that every day in my district. I represent Orange County, and we are home to one of the highest credit union per capita populations in the United States. And I see my local credit unions, whether it's Orange County Credit Union, Schools First Credit Union, New Vision, Credit Union in Southern California, or Comunidad Latina, how they are deeply invested in the communities that they serve and how dedicated they are to their mission of extending affordable and accessible financial services to their members. And I've had the opportunity to meet with credit union leaders several times since I became a member of Congress, and each time I've been so impressed with your creativity, with the new initiatives that you are launching, whether it's small dollar credit programs or forbearance initiatives to help workers get through the government shutdown last year. This is consistent with my experience before coming to Congress, when I served as the state of California's monitor between large banks and the state of California over the national mortgage settlement. I saw how the national banks struggled to understand their customers and to serve their members. And it was very clear to me what the credit unions had done a much better job extending those loans, communicating with their customers, and keeping families in their homes. I recently had the chance to take advantage of one of your innovative products myself. I am the first single mother of young children to ever serve in the United States Congress. And one of the challenges that I face as a single mom is kids squabbling. I think every parent faces that. And so I was talking about this with my local credit union representative about how my kids are always accusing each other of taking their money and this and that. So my two younger children decided that the key to their financial security was opening up a starter account for kids at Schools First Credit Union so that their 14-year-old brother would quit lifting their allowance each week. So we really are seeing how you're putting families on a path to financial security, beginning with early childhood literacy and continuing all the way through being there later in life as seniors face more difficulty in making financial decisions. My commitment to credit unions began right at the start of my time in Congress. The very first letter I drafted as a member of Congress was to large banks, asking them to do more for furloughed employees harmed by the needless government shutdown. When I sent those letters to Wells Fargo and JP Morgan Chase, I used examples of what credit unions had already been doing in a matter of hours and days after the shutdown to help their customers. I also lauded what credit unions were doing in my very first speech on the House floor, We saw credit unions providing fee waivers, debt payment extensions, credit unions taking action because they were invested in their members and in their local community's successes, stepping up when their members were in need. And that is consistent with the credit union mission, and that is consistent with what I've actually seen from credit unions in my 20-year career in financial services. Credit unions are so much more likely to work with their customer, to know their customer in the beginning, and be there with them throughout the life of a loan product. Clearly, credit unions play a very important role in our financial services ecosystem, and we need to make sure in Congress that we are listening to credit unions, listening to our constituents who are members of credit unions, and making sure that we're enacting legislation that allows credit unions to thrive and provide needed services. I support robust consumer protection that is tailored to the size and business model of financial institutions, which means that I'm going to protect credit unions' tax status because it allows them to serve members and offer affordable loan products that we don't see large banks doing. I'm also thrilled to announce that's always an applause line at the credit union event. I wanted to tell you about what I'm going to be. I talked about what I did the first day of Congress, but I want to mention what I'm going to be doing later today, which is that I'm going to be introducing a bill that addresses some of the ways in which the uniqueness of credit unions has sometimes produced overregulation or unnecessary regulation. So I know what it's like to try to gather a group of people in a room. I try to gather these 3 children every so often to make sure they're still alive. So I'm introducing a bill today that would reduce the number of board meetings that credit unions must have from 12 to 6. There is absolutely no reason that we ought to put more burden on our credit unions than we do on our large banks. So I'm delighted to be supporting this bill, and I want to say thank you to those of you in this room and your colleagues around the country who talked with me about this idea, who explained what your needs were, and allowed me this opportunity to help you serve your customers in our community. So thank you again for allowing me to speak here today. It's my mission when I came to Congress to start working on real problems. Sometimes I like to say that Congress's motto is solving yesterday's problems tomorrow, maybe. But with your help today, I get to solve a real problem for credit unions by reducing the number of board meetings. And I'm thrilled that this is going to be the beginning of what I hope will be a long and productive partnership in listening to you and helping you do your work of serving your members. Thank you so much for having me here today. I'm really privileged to be with you.